everyone, welcome to No Drama Just Movies, and we are back this week with our new segment, Our Two Pence. This is our new segment on this channel for No Drama Just Movies, where each and every week we take a topic in the world of TV and movies, and well, we simply discuss it. So here we are this week to talk about our predictions, our expectations, and our theories for what we think is going to happen in the Batman Part 2, based off the heels of what was a fantastic season finale of HBO's The Penguin. My name is Cameron. I'm Vengeance. Kelly Smith, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague here.
You actually stole mine.
Give it a shot. Go again. Try it again.
Oh, now I can use a different one. I'm Phil. If you're the Batman, I'm the Batman too. Corbin.
Wait, that's it. There we go. We got there in the end. Give our channel a lovely little subscribe to stay tuned with all the content we release each and every week in the world of TV and movies. Our first episode of Our Two Pence dropped just only last week, where we discussed the future of Star Wars under Simon Kinberg. A link for that will be in the description below and somewhere around this video here as I'm currently talking. However, somewhere, the Batman Part 2, and most importantly, HBO's The Penguin, the season finale. So let's get right into it. I mean, two big things happened in this finale, which gives us a little idea of, maybe some of the seeds that are being planted for what happens later on down the line. So let's start with the first one. Obviously, the first one is, well, good old Kristen Milioti, the beautiful Kristen Milioti as Sofia Gigante. She is no longer an only child after the death of Alberto, because she now has received a letter from one Selena Kyle, and that amazing little Selena Kyle Catwoman theme came on in the background there. Love that one. I mean, what does that mean? I mean, what do we think that means? Or how do you think that that duo is going to now play a part in the Batman Part 2? Or
I was wondering, with all the ideas of like spin-off shows, we'll probably get into like the whole, now debunked Joker thing as well. But a lot of people saying like Penguin worked so well that HBO would be stupid not to like capitalize on that and put out more shows. So I can actually see that as like a spin-off show, just the two of them, of the adventures of Sophia and Selena, just to see where they're going, and maybe that can then tie into a Batman, maybe not Batman 2, but maybe Batman 3. Or I can actually see them in the film as well, although I don't know if that crowds it a little bit too much. If you have Sophia maybe coming out of Arkham or something, and then Selena as well, and the Penguin has to be there, and God knows who else. It gets a little bit too crowded, I feel. So a show might be a little bit better, just to give them a bit more space to just, have their own adventure. What do you think?
right, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, I believe it was either James Gunn or Matt Reeves recently in the last couple of days were talking about wanting to expand that universe. And, as you said, after the success of The Penguin, I mean, the likelihood that they're not going to do another spin-off is very slim. And I think you just brought up a really good example. I think that a Catwoman TV show, with good old, what's that name? How can I forget the beautiful... I can't believe I forgot her name.
God.
In fact,
no.
Let's go on. 3, 2, 1.
You have to live with that now.
Oh God! 3,
I won't cut
2,
this.
1. So yes, Zoe Kravitz. I mean, I think on a serious note, though, I think that is a great candidate for another spin-off show. At the end of the Batman, we see that, Bruce and Bat, he goes one way, i.e. into Gotham, and Selena goes out of Gotham. So you could have a show that potentially explores what she's been doing outside of Gotham, or maybe what she does upon re-entry to Gotham. And also, her coming into Pastor Sophia. I think this is the question, though, that when you look at the events of The Penguin, these are, across the whole season, these are events and scenarios that, I don't think gives us a huge clue as to specifically what the story of the Batman Part 2 will be about.
Mhm.
But I think it does give us a clue as to how Gotham will be shaped and molded, and how the underbelly of Gotham will be shaped and molded. And as a result, will then kind of form into what Gotham becomes in the Batman Part 2. And as a result, the relationship between Gotham and Bruce, because obviously, he will be, the Batman of that Gotham. Um, so I think that does work pretty well. Obviously, the scene that had everyone going crazy, even though it's a tease, but understandably so, is the final shot of the finale where good old Oz and Eve are having a dance in the penthouse suite, and as we pan, we see the bat signal up in the sky. I think that is an interesting thing, because I think throughout this whole, this series is unique in the sense where it wasn't a prequel. It takes place directly after the events of the Batman. And so obviously one of the biggest questions was, well, where's the Batman? You have all this stuff going on between Sophia and Oz and Crown Point and all that, and there seems to be no mention of the Batman whatsoever. Obviously, there was a newspaper clipping that was released before the show got released, as a little tease showing, and one of the headlines was, well, where is the Batman? And so I don't know if this is part of that story that, he took almost a break or somewhat. But then at the same time, and also as well, I've heard people say, well, I mean, as a result, well, where is he if the bat signal is now showing? However, the bat signal, being lit does not mean that bats will appear. Maybe he is taking a break. Maybe, I don't know, as Matt Reeves calls it, he has had a bit of an existential crisis or change of I don't know, mindset. I'm not too sure. But let's go on to predictions. And one of the biggest, I think, things that is a easy prediction to make is the inclusion of Joker, that being Barry Keoghan. Is that correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Keoghan.
Yep. His
How he pronounces
appearance.
it, so.
Yeah, well, I hope so. But obviously, his appearance as Joker in the Batman Part 2, which I think we can probably all assume is inevitable, that he will probably appear. In what capacity, we don't know. But I think this then lends to obviously a report that came out last week by good old Jeff Snyder. Credit to the Hot Mic podcast, where he reported through his newsletter that that there was a solo Joker TV show being developed that was gonna obviously highlight his journey between now and the Batman Part 2, and that eventually he would then play a bigger role in the Batman Part 3. However, that report was debunked, and so where do you land with this, with the Joker stuff?
So I've read an article in in Variety that talked about these ideas of like, is there going to be like a Joker TV show or streaming show, I guess. And in it mentions actually Matt Reeves himself talking to Barry Keoghan and basically telling him like, look, I don't know, you can be the Joker, but I don't know where this is going. I don't know if you're coming back as the Joker, if what I'm going to do with that. So I'm really not sure, because it could well be that he's like, yeah, I'm going to move on to a different character, and the Joker was fine in that little, I guess, deleted scene. But it could also be that the Joker actually plays a role, and I kind of like the idea that he's more in the background. That he's a bit more like the late great Hannibal Lecter for Clarice Starling, just like someone that Bruce or Batman can go to and ask, like, have a look at this file, like, what do you think? Rather than him being the big bad of the next of Batman 2. Maybe Batman 3, I don't know. But I also wanted to put that question to you, like, are we ready for a yet another Joker?
I think we are. And the reason why I'm
Yeah.
going to say why we are is because when we were first exposed to this incarnation of Joker, because I understand why that deleted scene was kept out of the movie. I also, however, I think also sometimes question if having that deleted scene out of the movie, but also still including that tease of Joker in the movie where, he's good old Riddler's cellmate, if that also should have been something that was included. But I think if you're going to tease Joker and you're going to release that deleted scene, I think that does beg the question as to what you're alluding to. I don't think he can just be on the sidelines for this whole trilogy. I think that he does have to play a part. And I think that
Mm.
that deleted scene, what was so great about it is that it established a relationship between this Joker, this version of Joker, and this version of Batman that I think is very compelling. This idea that they are familiar with each other, but
Mm.
this isn't the Joker yet, right? Just like Edward Nygma wasn't the Riddler yet in that incarnation. And this incarnation of Joker, even the look, he looks like someone who would have gone into a vat of chemicals. He does come across as someone who's quite intelligent. And I would like to see that incarnation. I would like to see
Mm.
what Barry can do with it. I would like to see where Matt Reeves could go with it because I think that we could be rewarded with an incarnation of Joker and a story around Joker that maybe we haven't seen before. I think that it definitely has piqued the interest enough. But the question is that what is the Batman Part 2 going to be about? And I think that the ending of the Penguin, while it does give us some teases as to where we could go, the reality is that the Batman Part Two still isn't slated for 2026.
Mm.
Until 2026, and so there's a lot of time to fill between now and then, and there's a lot of time to speculate. And what is the story? I think that my prediction, obviously Matt Reeves keeps referring to this as a crime saga this, crime saga that. I think that after the little tidbits that were revealed in the Batman and obviously in Penguin, I think that one of the most popular, obviously, predictions and theories is, and I am quite on board of, is a Court of Owls. I think that this incarnation of Gotham, this route that Matt Reeves is taking, I think could really be a good setting for a Court of Owls.
Mm.
Once again jumping on, the idea of a corrupted Gotham and the corrupt, they're really exploring that theme. And I think that a Court of Owls could be something done in a really nice, grounded way that could be really interesting.
Yeah.
But what say you? Do you have any particular predictions or what you feel like you would expect to see from the story of the Batman Part 2?
I know, like, I think we can say the Penguin is going to play a much bigger role. I'm not sure if he's going to be like the main villain of the second one, or maybe like one of maybe two or three villains, maybe two. But he's definitely in there. I'm not sure if Court of Owls is a little bit too early, maybe, because
Maybe.
that seems like a bigger, like you have to set up a lot more.
Mhm.
And it's kind of a bigger challenge for Batman as well, and he's like just started. So I would wait for that for part three. So yeah, just like an extra, like a different villain, one or two, some kind of serial killer again, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that because, the last thing I will say, in terms of, a villain prediction, one of the big themes that Matt Reeves has been exploring throughout the Penguin and the Batman is corruption, is lawmaking. And I think that Court of Vows is something I wouldn't be surprised if they are building to, but that maybe would be in a part three.
Yeah.
I think what I would like to maybe see, if not Court of Vows from part two, I'm more than happy for another detective crime story. I'm more than happy for another serial killer. But I would also be interested in the idea of them taking a page out of ironically, the Ben Affleck playbook. Obviously in Ben Affleck's original, idea for his solo Batman movie, he was going to direct. The villain was Deathstroke, and he was going to play with the idea of a villain that could physically compete with Batman in a way that, and intellectually, in a way that we haven't seen before. And I would be intrigued in that, the idea of if you had somebody who was this also maybe a masked vigilante that was committing murders, but that physically he was able to physically compete and combat with and engage in combat with Batman in a way that Bruce maybe struggled with. And we did see in the Batman Part One, obviously, Alfred says, I taught you how to fight, but that was one of the only few things I could teach you. And with this Batman that still is figuring out who he is and still is not the complete version of Batman, I would be intrigued to see how he would fare up against someone that intellectually challenges him, but also physically, especially this younger version of Batman, where you could see maybe really, him get his back really kicked in, both mentally and physically, before being able to overcome that, while also dealing with Oz and everything going around in terms of the underbelly of Gotham. Obviously, Colin Farrell recently said that based on what he's been told from Matt Reeves, he has around 5 to 6 scenes in the Batman Part 2. He revealed that the other day, which is interesting. But, you could be exploring what's going on with Oz. At the same time, Sophia and Selena, the relationship between Selena and Bats, and also, also what's going on between Riddler and Joker in prison or whatever they're doing there. So I think it's promising. I think it is very promising, but there also is a fear of, wow, there's a lot maybe to explore or go into, and you just hope that it really pulls through. But we've got hope. We've got hope. Anything else you'd like to add before we head?
No, I think I'm good.
Well, that will do us for our second ever edition here of our new talk show segment, Our Two Pence, where we have discussed everything to do with our predictions and expectations moving forward for the Batman Part 2 based off the finale of HBO's The Penguin. Once again, we are No Drama, Just Movies. If you like this video here, if you like our content here on this channel, please give our channel a lovely little subscribe. Please like, comment, share, jump down in the comment section below. Let us know what your thoughts are for the Batman Part 2. We are here to geek out and have a good little discussion to try and figure out what it is that Matt Reeves has up his sleeve. Once again, we have another video here that we did release on our 2 Pence, where we discussed the future of Star Wars with Simon Kinberg. Please give that video a watch. My name is Cameron. I'm Vengeance Kelly Smith, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague here.
I'm Phil. If you're the Batman, I'm the Batman too. Cool.
And if we're the Batman, then you're the Batman 3. That's right. Once again, we are No Drama, Just Movies. Thank you very much for checking out our talk show segments here today, guys. Our 2 Pence. And we will see you very, very soon. Take care, guys.
Bye.